Hello everybody, Mr. Pilgrim here coming at you with the 8th video in our Platinum Trophy Guide for Hellpoint. In the last video we had finally gone through the Arisen Dominion and defeated the 4th Archon Knight as well as the last Cosmic God in the game, and now we're able to finally go to the High Adeliers and complete that quest and also take on the final 2 bosses of the game. The one boss will get you a trophy and the other one will get you another couple as well. Now, in the last video I did mention the coins. However, I have found out that if you're going through and trying to get the true ending of the game, it means that you can't get all of the coins, sadly, as one of the coins is tied behind letting the architect die and hoping he opens a door for you, or getting his key card. That's basically your 2 options, and sadly he didn't do that for me on this playthrough, so I'm going to have to wait to do it in the next one. And also, coins don't carry over to New Game Plus, just keep that in mind. Of all of the consumable items that I wish they would have allowed to go into New Game Plus, that's one that kind of hurts. But anyways, now that we're here, we can finally head up to the High Adeliers by coming back to the computer, and we can now take this elevator up. Pretty straightforward. Now, I highly recommend just switching and using whatever weapons you are comfortable with for this first fight. There's only one enemy in this entire area, so don't worry. And do note, once you make it to the second boss, you can quit out and you'll still be able to go back and fight it. It's not a, if you do that, then you're kind of screwed kind of deal. So at this breach, I would highly recommend synchronizing it. Just being able to come back to this area is nice. But this area overall is pretty straightforward and easy. There's nothing too crazy. All you can do is simply come up to this area over here. You'll have a NPC invader, I guess. This is the only form of like PvP you'll actually get in the game. And they will sometimes have random builds. They don't give you any axions or drop anything from what I know, so do keep that in mind. Here in this room, you will have to always drop down to come and pick up the Adelier's lab key and then activate the bridge. Pretty easy, you know. And then you'll also get a pressure motor, just more materials to use. And then if you really want to, you can always backtrack and come down to this area here. Open up this door finally. Grab the artillery OTX, which I believe is the gun the artillery boss uses. And then you can find some Incilium over here. Now I will say that after doing this next step, you can reset the entire quest line for the architect, so do be careful about that. I'll go into detail about it in just a second here, but I'll show it off just so you guys can see. In this area here, you'll have a couple items here on your right. Another broken Eva outsuit, which I don't understand why they'd give it to us now. But over here, as you can see, the architect is in this room. Now, after speaking with him, he'll basically ask if you're ready or if you're not ready. If you say that you're not ready, and at any point in time you go back to the Zone District Central Hub, he will go back there and you'll have to go through all of the steps with him to get him back here. Do note, you don't need to recraft the AI patch conductor or anything. He just bugs out and he goes back there. You will have to re-escort him through the bowels, but just say that you're ready. And then you'll want to head through. The game will tell you that you're about to embark on something that will affect the end of the game. As you'll see up there on the left, the architect will go into that building and then will interact with it. Here is the interface. Basically, I'm going to show you guys all of the dialogue options to choose. Basically, you'll pick the last one or the fourth option. I don't know about infinite other versions, but I'm taking it down. You will then be asked to surrender or keep your data, and you want to keep your data. And now you'll have a boss fight. Alright, so depending on if you guys wanted to simply activate the boss and then quit out, or if you happen to have died, this makes it a lot easier to show off the boss and talk about it beforehand. So basically, interface will mainly use ranged attacks and has some melee attacks he can use. And every time he moves around, the platform also moves. The best course of action is to simply hug his arms and attack them. Downside being as some attacks still can hit you and deal a lot of damage to you, but I'll just go ahead and show it off now. Want to grab your axions and jump down. Now if the arena gets played like this, it wouldn't be so bad. Here is the laser attack that can deal the most damage to you. As you'll see, every time you move, so does the arena. It is a bit annoying. But as you can see, it's not a hard boss. Just frustrating at times. Because you're basically just waiting for a good platform cycle, or for him to do his laser to jump up and get some damage. As you'll see, him moving all the time is not fun. Do note that there are some safe spots, not guaranteed of course. Let's see if we can get the laser. No laser. Rockets are all pretty good. This is a really bad arena. As you'll see, that laser is damage. It's best, like I said, to walk or run to a different side. Sadly, at some point he will be unhittable. Those rockets can hurt. Like I said, just simply walking is fine. Being close to him makes it really hard for the rockets to hit. As you'll see, they can't really do anything. I wouldn't say this is a good pattern. As you guys can see, RNG of the arena kind of sucks. Because you can still easily get knocked off. Hopefully this time he'll move away. Come on. Ooh. Thank you. Not really better, but I'll take it. That was a little close. I think we're almost there. There we go. Upon defeating him, you will get the interface trophy. And then you will also get I'm full of bad ideas. This is simply for doing the Architect's questline. It'd be cool if we could now get up there and kill him, but, you know, oh well. Now, from here, I highly recommend waiting to go through that portal and taking on the secret boss of the game. For now, I'm going to show you guys how to farm axions a pretty efficient way, especially with being at the end of the game with tougher enemies now being out and around the map. So we're going to head back to the Ikari walkways, or I'm going to head to the Arcology Center and show you guys from there, okay? Alright, so here from the Arcology Customs Bridge, you head into and go to the Ikari walkways. I'll show you guys the easiest way to start farming axions. It's pretty simple. Alright, so from here, you're basically just going to want to make a direct, straight line to the artillery boss's room. Don't worry about all the hands and stuff, it's not an issue. But in doing this, you guys can easily make 25,000 axions every couple minutes. It's not 100% guaranteed all the time. You will sometimes have to fight the enemy, but that's perfectly fine, as this will also allow you to work on leveling up any weapons and stuff. So like I said, you'll just run past everything, make a beeline right for... That's kind of weird. Right for the boss room. So from here, you're just going to run up and follow this path that I take. Dodge past the hands. Here you'll find this hidden wall. Don't worry about getting torn up. You'll head inside, take the exolift up. You'll then want to just simply drop down here. There's only this one enemy to take out. Pretty simple. And you'll see these enemies right here. Boom, right here. You'll be able to activate the tram, as you'll see, like so. It'll push enemies down to their deaths, or as you'll see, like there, down to that area. Depending on things, you might be able to get these enemies to fall to their deaths. If not, that's fine. But basically, this is the method that you're going to use. As you'll see, this guy only gives 2,000 axions every time you kill him. However, what you're going to do is you're going to come to this breach right here. You want to activate it, and then you want to check and make sure how many daring effigies and how many fearful effigies that you have. It really depends on how much you want to do, but I recommend just using 2 daring effigies. Basically what that does is, as in the top left at the bottom of the clock, you'll see a number. This represents what playthrough you're on. So by using a daring effigy, you permanently put your game into the new game plus, basically, of the game. Pretty much. And then the fearful effigy lowers it back down. So I recommend just doing this twice, and that will put your game into new game plus 2, or your third run of the game. So once you do that, you'll then be able to see how many axions you get. Alright, so from here, once you are ready, as you'll see in the top right corner, I've already gotten a fragment of a thespian and 25,000 axions. So basically what it is, every time you teleport back to this breach, it resets the tram system, which knocks the thespian off. Now do note, it's not a perfect setup, as sometimes the thespian will land on this walkway and you'll have to fight him. But basically, as long as you are able to teleport back to this breach, you will infinitely be able to get 25,000 axions. Now if he doesn't fall, it makes it a lot quicker, as you don't have to wait to kill him or just simply reset. 25,000 axions every run. Now if you happen to have more daring effigies and fearful effigies, you can put this as high as you want, but do be careful, as once you beat the game, it'll also put you 1 tier higher, and you want to make sure you have enough to put the game back to your first playthrough. That way enemies and stuff aren't doing more damage to you, bosses aren't doing more damage to you before you're ready for it. But basically, this is how you guys will farm axions, level up your weapon, if you want to fight the thespian when he falls down. Do be careful though, as +3, or your third playthrough, he can almost 2-shot me, pretty much, with some of his attacks, so do be careful. This is also a really good way to level up some of your weapons. Like I said, it's really just up to you. So I'm going to farm for a bit, and I'll see you guys once we're ready to take on the true final boss of the game, as well as get the true ending of the game by also doing the Prodigal Spawns quest. So yeah. Alright, so once you guys have finally grinded up your character and level, gotten the weapons that you want to get to the levels that you want to get them, I would highly recommend getting a Chandler of Hell up to max level, and then selecting the ability for the firewall, as that will do some good damage. I'm going to stick with the Officer Glaive that I have, or the fully upgraded version of it, the Officer Tool Glaive. You can check the wiki for pretty much most of the information. However, some videos do exist for finding some of the more unique weapons of the game. But once you are fully ready to take on this boss, and I will say that this boss is very disorienting, especially the arena you fight it in. But once you're ready, you can finally enter the portal, and we will be on our way. Alright, so this is the sentient boss. Now, when you spawn in, depending on things, you might already have the prodigal spawn coming after you like I do. Now, the main thing I would say is to simply just ignore him and try and fight the boss. Best way to do that, of course, is simply to use Chandler of Hell to deal consistent damage to him. As you'll see, fully leveling it up, it shreds his overall HP and makes it really easy to fight and deal with him. He does have a specific long-ranged attack that will ultimately destroy your HP. I'll try and point it out if I happen to come across it. It's this attack right here where he spawns these portals that will shoot at you. Do be very careful. They do a lot of damage. However, we've now already defeated him because of the Chandler of Hell, and now all that's left is to fight and defeat the prodigal spawn, and he does not make it easy to fight him. But once again, you can use another go of the Chandler of Hell's line ability and just lure him in and keep him in it. Normally this fight would be a lot harder, but having this one specific item makes this fight trivial and a whole lot easier to deal with. Now all that's left is just dealing with the prodigal spawn. Now, depending on things, he takes up a fourth of the HP overall. Like I said, you can just lure him in here and he will just get shredded, or he'll just back away. Downside, of course, is that most of his attacks do stagger you. But when you have defeated him, you will get another 2 trophies. You'll get the Sentient Trophy, the Shattered Mirror Trophy, as you'll see here, he's looking like a fool, thinking he could stop us. And then you will also get a 3rd trophy upon entering New Game Plus. as you guys can see, we have naturally made it to New Game Plus. So upon being able to finally move, you'll get the To the Fringe trophy, which is pretty simple. It's just for going into New Game Plus, which automatically happens after beating the game. So depending on how you want to do things, from here you can easily just run back and surrender your data to the big boss guy, which will get you the Good Spawn trophy. Now, one thing is you do keep your data, so all of your information that you've gathered, you will keep. Now, like I said before, you do not keep any of your coins that you've gathered and collected along the way, as well as your keys. So you will need to reobtain those items. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly run back, defeat the Archon Slaver, and then go and talk to the main man himself. Because I do believe I still have... Okay, I still have 2 Fearful Effigies, and then I'm going to reuse that to lower the difficulty back down, so then getting all of the coins. So yeah. So I'm going to quickly skip the Slaver boss and then skip back to meeting the one giant robot and talking to him and surrendering the data for that trophy. Alright, as you can see, I was able to run right past everything and just defeat the Archon Slaver, talk to the computer, and then interacting with it again allows you to immediately access the High Ateliers, and then you can finally talk to Interface again. And then you can surrender your data for the next trophy. Alright, so after surrendering your data, you should also get the other trophy as well as Good Spawn. You should also get the My Old Friend trophy. This trophy is a little bit weird as how you get it. It's very vague on what it means by turning off the lights from start to finish. But basically, from what I've understood and from what I've researched, is that you don't need to use your Omnicube at all. You need to basically just beat the game without using it, without turning on any lights or adjusting your settings as well. So you don't ever want to adjust your lights, gamma, or anything like that. You leave that all blank. You don't ever mess with it. You simply beat the game, which is really confusing. But the best way I would say to get it is like what I just did. Once you get into New Game Plus, immediately run to the Archon Slaver boss, beat it, talk to the computer, go up to the High Ateliers. You'll see that it has no power at all once you're going through there, and then surrender your data, and that will get you the My Old Friend trophy. Very weird, I know. Now from here, I'm also going to use, I think I have, yes, I'm going to use my last 2 Fearful Effigies, and I'm going to put this playthrough back all the way down to difficulty level 1. Basically what that does is it just means that all the enemies and damage that I will take and axions I will receive will be equal to that of the first playthrough of the game. A bit boring, yes, but the last video that I'm going to be making for Hellpoint is going to be finally showing you guys how to get all of the coins. Now, like I said, You can't get them if you're going for the true ending of the game, because you have to kill the architect and get his stuff. It's a bit annoying, but trust me, this way works for the best. But as always, this has been Mr. Pilgrim. I will see you all in the next video. As always, I hope these videos are informative and helpful in any way, shape, or form. As always, peace out.